So, we begin tonight, well, we begin in the morning as a train pulls out of London, leaving behind, I believe it would be Charing Cross Station. Plume of smoke and steam behind it as the steam engine chugs its way out of the city, heading southwards towards the coast. And seated in one compartment of this train are a motley crew of 3 gentlemen. They all are dressed reasonably smartly, but to a passing eye, they make a strange crew, a mix of very tall, very large, and perfectly ordinary-sized human. And we see Franco, Mortimer, and Augustus together in this little compartment. You have privacy. There's no one else in there beside the 3 of you, and you have probably somewhere between an hour and 2 hours before you will be arriving down at Brighton. I am a little uncertain of the speed of a steam train, and if I'm going to be honest, I'm not going to look it up. So let's say an hour and a half on that ride down to catch each other up and make any preparations prior to your visit to the sanatorium, which is now under new management after Dr. Lake's previous unfortunate run-in with you lot. So, as the train pulls out of the station, what are the 3 of you doing?
I am talking to Dr. Mortimer about Franco's endeavors. So, Doctor. So there we are. We walk all the way through this police station. And then there's Franco, naked as the day he's born, covered in mud, saying gibberish, flailing around, star-eyed, doesn't know where he is. And we get him out of there. I didn't even hit anybody. I was so proud of myself. Then we get in this to his apartment, and then we find this interesting little statue that makes him dream crazy dreams and made him go out and do crazy things and talk to the water and swim around. So we break it, and he gets sad, and we yell at him a little bit, give him some tough love. We go back. I put traps around his bed because he's been daydreaming or whatever, night walking, sleepwalking. He gets up, makes a horrible noise. I follow him all the way out to the police station. He's going to try to break into the police station. He doesn't even know what office he's going to go into. And it took all of my restraint not to backhand him. I am a man of patience now, of patience and virtue.
I'm not surprised.
And then Maddie drugged us with tea. Oh. It was great.
Now that does surprise me, that Maddie would drug everyone.
She was not putting up with our nonsense. Our good friend, the private eye, fell asleep and woke up with ink all over his face. He looked like a damn fool. It was incredible.
Sounds like it's a party.
It absolutely was. Absolutely was. But Franco has a good understanding of what's going to change, and he's doing better. And a lot of it came from he just wanted to prove himself and show that he wasn't making mistakes, that he was gonna be better. And you know what? He has his head right on his shoulders, and I'm sure I won't have to throttle him for doing
and he's dressed.
Stuff. And he's dressed. Yes, that's right. He's wearing clothes. It's always a great start. We're proud of you, Franco.
Yay!
Sounds like I missed something, but you never know what will happen next with Franco.
It's gonna be fine. I'm not gonna do anything.
You feeling better now?
I don't know. I'm feeling like normal. I mean, I haven't had the dreams again yet. Then again, I only slept once, and they weren't like every time I slept. So,
How long was that thing under your pillow?
year maybe.
Well,
When were we at the Belfonts?
I never met the. If I was there when you met the Belfonts, I would have shot them in 5 minutes and had breakfast.
I think about a year ago.
About a year ago. Yeah, I was asking Dr. Davenport.
Yes, it was quite some time ago.
When I felt it stuck to my pocket, and I took it with me.
That was when you got quite badly injured because you were covered in blood. You ended up with bits of wood sticking through you, if I remember.
Yeah, but it wasn't that bad. I mean, it hurt a lot, but otherwise fine. I mean, still fine. Everything's still attached. We're fine. It's all right.
You're scrappy. You're scrappy, Franco. Like, I think that one day I could probably teach you to fight in a way that wouldn't be an embarrassment. But you got toughness.
No.
You got toughness, and that's one of your greatest. You have a good heart and a good mind.
So, I was thinking, how is Charles Belfont linked to everything that's going on at the moment?
I think we're there because of me and the statue. I don't think he's actually involved with this the
person who was murdered and had his heart ripped out.
Yeah, I don't think he's involved with that. Oh yeah, and Barnes' diary. That's also like I mean Barnes was at
You did visit it, but I think he set Barnes up for something.
Possible, maybe. I mean, Barnes. He was the land drowning guy, so potentially. But then again, he's still stuck in his mental institution.
Yeah, I just got the impression that
you're not going to leave me there, are you?
Inspector Barnes went there for more information with what was going on, and Charles Belfont took advantage of this to set him up. Probably told him to go somewhere near the river at a certain time on his own or something along those lines. And, we've seen those fish people, haven't we? We saw one at the Belfont estate running into the water and getting away.
Yeah,
so if there's more of them about, then he could have set them up.
Than werewolves?
Pardon? Sorry?
Are they tougher than werewolves? Because here's the deal. Like, I love you, Doctor, but like,
I don't think they're tougher, as far as I can tell.
Shadow monsters and werewolves are my threshold of how I judge things. If they're not as tough as those, I don't care. I'll beat the hell out of them.
I think they're probably not much more tougher than a normal average person, other than the ability to breathe underwater.
Yeah, and
look normal sized.
And maybe weird other stuff. The way Maddie can do weird other stuff, they might be able to do weird other stuff as well. You never know.
Well,
I don't know if you've seen Maddie do weird other stuff though.
I haven't. She horrifies me. I'm very scared of her.
Wise decision. To be honest, I think it's way more scary now that she's so normal again.
Now that she's what?
I mean, she's so normal again.
When was she not?
She's never been normal.
She used to
for as long as I know. Huh?
She used to be very bad.
Like bad, like me?
Nah, like me.
Oh.
Don't know.
Okay. Well, I'll let y'all do the investigating mind stuff, and I'm just gonna practice fighting in my head, and I just fall asleep.
So, when we're there, what are we gonna do?
Keeper, could I have had a chance to forge a letter from Inspector Barnes?
You can certainly try.
Just something along the lines to imply that, just to basically state that we were assisting him with his case, and the letter will be dated the same date he had in his journal or diary that he was going to meet. So I shall.
You have forgery as a skill, I believe.
I do.
In which case, give us a forgery. Yeah, you reckon you got a fairly decent forgery here? You don't think it would fool someone who, was overly familiar with Barnes's handwriting, like his wife or like a close colleague, but someone who was.
It looks like what it says it is, but if someone were to look into any detail,
they might be able to see through it. But it should definitely pass first inspection.
It's not meant to be official documentation, just like a letter to prove. Should we need it? I'm not sure what we need to do. We'll see what happens when we get there. We could speak to whoever's on the front desk. I have a letter I put together, which looks like was made to look as if Inspector Barnes has requested our aid with his most recent case, and we could probably use that to get access to whoever he spoke with at the place. But whether they want to talk to us, we'll see.
Okay, so as the train makes its way all the way down to Brighton, is there anything else you would like to do along the way other than perhaps catch up on some much needed rest and enjoy the scenery as it passes by as you make your way down to the coast?
I think we'll probably just rest and enjoy the scenery on the way. Not sure if Franco's been out of the city before.
I mean, I've already been here once. I mean, and I was the one that distracted the doctor before we had the, when we took the records.
Been here.
I was the diversion, and so that's why he recognized me when we were at the party.
And the other time with Earl Grey.
Yeah, that wasn't convenient.
Yes, you keep taking visits to and so, yes, we come. The train pulls into the station at the seaside town of Brighton. It's still early May and it's not quite hit proper summer season, but there are people out in the town, promenading, enjoying the fresh seaside air and distance from the city. And you can see, just make out on the horizon, outside of the town proper, the brick buildings of Albrooke. Some distance walk or a short carriage ride out of the town itself. It's up to you whether you want to head up there on foot or whether you want to hire a local carriage to take you up there.
I think we'll probably just hire a carriage to take us from the railway station. We've done that before.
I've never I've never left the city, so this is kind of nervous, to be honest.
If you prefer, we could walk.
Oh no, we have money for a carriage. I'd like to take that.
So yeah, if you've not seen the town before, Augustus, you can see the expanse of the sea. You can see this long pier jutting out into the sea with amusements and entertainment, various arcades and pleasure pavilion. I can't remember what the old-fashioned term is. Essentially, seaside attractions. You can see this long promenade. You can see this stony beach and various hotels and buildings along the waterfront. This is a bustling seaside town and growing in size and popularity.
I'm gonna put down my bags, and I'm gonna say, hold on, boys. I need a couple minutes to soak this in. This is incredible.
Yeah, looking really good, right? We didn't have the time to visit last time. I mean, you kind of, we kind of had to run last time around. So maybe we go look at that.
When this is over and done, I don't know if we'll have time, but I'm gonna come back here one day and really enjoy this place. And then I'm gonna grab Franco and put him in a very playful headlock. You see that water, and that water, and that water, and that water. You don't go there unless you're wearing clothes, and we're there with you. Got it?
Yeah.
Say it. Okay. All right. I'll let you go. I tussle your hair. It's gonna be okay, Franco. It's gonna be okay.
Okay, so you're heading up out of the... I can't remember. Did you say you were walking or getting a carriage in the end?
We get a carriage.
Okay. So you get a carriage up away from the bustling seafront of Brighton and up towards this red brick building surrounded by a high wall on this low hill overlooking the ocean. And you can see there's this iron gateway in the brick wall, which someone has helpfully put a nice label sign arcing over the top of it. And the iron letters spell out Albrooke. A smaller plaque next to the gate identifies this as Albrooke Sanatorium, managed by a Dr. Sampson Croft. And your carriage pulls up through the gates, this familiar gravel drive sweeping up to the front. There's no one wandering the grounds this morning. It seems like everyone is inside. Though it's quite a nice sunny day. And the steps lead up to this smart black painted front door with a bell next to it.
I'll lead the way because I've been here before. I've spoken to the person on the front desk before now, if it's the same person, so I'll just approach the front door. I'm trying to think, do we have to ring the bell first, or...?
The door appears to be closed.
Is it locked?
It is.
I'll ring the bell.
You wait for a very long while. The sound of the bell echoes distantly on the inside, until the door is opened by this rather burly-looking orderly, dressed in a smart uniform, but there's a certain roughness around the edges.
Is he bigger than me?
What is Augustus's size on his character sheet? That's a good question.
It is listed as 50.
50? In which case he's definitely bigger than you.
Oh, okay. I don't like it.
I think Augustus is just exuding an atmosphere of being a much larger man than he actually is. Yeah. This man, though, is a broad slab of muscle, essentially. Morning.
Good morning. We were assisting Inspector Barnes with a case in London, and we believe he saw one of the patients here.
Are you here to see the doctor, or...?
It's probably best that we speak with the doctor first.
Right. Come this way. And he leads you into the familiar reception area, but there's no one at the front desk at the moment. And he leads you to this sort of side area where there is a little bit of seating and a slightly drooping pot plant. Just wait there.
Will do.
And disappears off through a side door, which you know previously led towards the offices that were Dr. Lake's. And you hear him like unlock and lock a door behind him as he goes that way. Keys rattling on his belt.
I'm assuming the front door was locked as well.
Yes.
After.
Yes. He locked the door behind you. You can hear the loud echo. There's a tall clock in this lobby area. You hear the pendulums swinging back and forth. This loud tick, tick noise that seems to echo in the otherwise silent waiting area.
And there's no one at the front desk?
No one at the front desk. And
I shall have a look at the front desk. I'm not going to go through anything. I'm just going to see if it's a used desk
of polished wood with a bell on it. Otherwise, it seems to be bare. There's no papers or files on it.
That's the sort of thing I was looking to see if it was in use at some point.
And looking away, you can see that the shelving sort of at the back of the desk is empty and slightly dusty.
Now that's strange. There used to be a lot more papers here last time I was here.
Something doesn't smell right. I don't like it.
I mean, this is fine. It's just a bit blocky and cold and prisony, and
Not fine.
There is a chance the people here aren't what they appear to be, as well. We shall have to be careful.
The other guy that they put into the cell next to I'm really bad with names, guys.
Are you thinking of Bidwell?
Yes, right.
Was Bidwell.
But that's permanently resolved, right?
Not yet.
And as you're having this discussion, you hear sounds of footsteps approaching. You hear the heavy plod of the orderly's footsteps, and a second pair of footsteps accompanying him. There's the rattle of keys in the lock, and the orderly reappears with a second man, which shorter. He dressed in this smart suit with a interesting choice of facial hair and a receding hairline. This very chunky sideburns and droopy sort of moustache, but also receding hair off the top of his face as he appears. Good morning.
Good morning, Doctor. How are you?
Sorry I left you waiting. I wasn't expecting any guests. I'm Dr. Croft, Samson Croft, and he offers his hand to you.
I'll take his hand. Shake his hand.
You can. He's smartly dressed, but there's a slight sort of odor of mothballs or something coming off his suit. Looks like it's been tucked away in a cupboard for a long while.
Last time I visited this place, I believe Dr. Lake was running it.
Oh, poor unfortunate Dr. Lake. Got a little bit too close to his patients, by the sounds of it.
It was quite a while ago. It was a few years back.
Yes,
But
yes.
anyhow, you're probably very busy, and we don't want to take up too much of
never
your time.
too busy. Are you here to visit one of our guests, or in what other way can I help you?
We are actually here to speak to one of your patients, if possible. Did you meet Inspector Barnes?
Oh, yes, the lovely police officer who came down, was it a few days
Yes.
back? Yes.
A while back in, yes. I believe he spoke to one of your patients. We were assisting Inspector Barnes with the same
Yes.
case.
Yeah, he spoke to a couple of my patients, yes.
Which
connected to the
patients?
case. Oh,
Charles Belfont, perhaps?
Yes, Charles Belfont and Rosalind Moore. From our long term. Poor girl.
Would it be possible to speak to them to... Well, you may or may not have heard, Inspector Barnes has passed away.
Oh, poor chap. That's
Is
awful
why
to hear. I'm really sorry to hear that.
we were rather surprised to hear it as well.
Yes.
He had fell in the river and drowned.
Oh. Dear goodness.
Fell in the Thames, I believe. I'm not entirely sure how, but...
How unfortunate.
That's the reason we're facing up his case for him, to see if we can bring some sort of closure to it. So at least the last case he was working on is finished.
Oh, yes, I understand totally. I'm going to ask for some form of social role here, a persuade or a charm.
I'll just try charm because
Yeah.
I'm dreadful with the others.
See how... Well, yes, dreadful to hear. If there's anything I can do to help, please let me know.
Actually,
business by the sounds of it.
I knew he had. We found in his journal, in his notes, Inspector Barnes had mentioned he'd come here to speak to Charles Belfont, but he hadn't mentioned the other lady that he was here to speak with. The name's completely unfamiliar to me, Miss Moore.
Oh, she's that poor young lady. She's been in here. She was moved here from another institution previously. Poor girl.
What happened to her?
Her family were murdered. Or at least her father was. Poor girl saw what happened and never recovered. It's a tragic case.
The shock must have been quite something for her.
Yes, indeed. But,
was she quite young when it happened, or?
Yes, just a child when it happened. But,
that would explain it.
Yes, it left her. Sadly, such events leave an indelible mark on one's life. She must. These
sort of things eventually wear us down.
Whilst not a danger, would not be safe out there in the wider world. They're very given to fanciful thinking and all that, and you know how women can be under those kinds of experiences.
They can be.
Yes.
Could we speak with her?
Under my supervision, yes. I mean, she is, as I said, a delicate thing. It would not do.
And the same with Charles Belfont, if possible, if it's no trouble to speak with him. I've never spoken to him before.
Oh, yes. Yes, I'm happy to speak with both of them. I will, of course.
Of course, they are your patients. You need to take care of them.
My guests are my patients, and their care is my first priority as the warden and caretaker of this establishment.
This place does seem a lot quieter than the last time I was here. I believe there was someone on the front desk.
Yes. We don't get so many guests as we used to.
Certainly unannounced.
No, not unannounced. I tend to be here myself to greet anyone who's coming. But if you ever need to visit again, just give me a call beforehand.
We'll definitely do so.
Our number. We're always happy to be of assistance. Which of our guests would you like to speak to first?
I think probably whichever Inspector Barnes spoke with first.
Well, in that case, that will be Mr. Belfont. Pete, would you fetch Mr. Belfont into the green room? I will bring our guests up there. Please, gentlemen, follow me. Sorry, I didn't catch your names.
Oh, sorry. I'm Dr. Mortimer Davenport.
Oh, a fellow doctor.
Not your specialty, though. I tend to deal with physical injuries rather than mental.
Oh, equally important. Like, one cannot treat the mind if they are missing a leg, I always like to say.
True.
And you?
Franco. Yeah. I'm technically a reporter, but more like friends.
Yes. Not here in your reporting capacity, I
Exactly.
Good. And, you?
I'm Augustus Green. I provide security and moral guidance.
Well, hopefully neither of those roles will be required today. I'd like to think we have a strong moral foundation here. And, well, you've seen good solid doors and walls.
I am sure that my security, my moral guidance will not be needed, but I am a very holy man. God bless.
Yes. Well, here we are. This is the what I call the green room. I tend to use it for interviews and family visits when they come. Is this?
I've always found green's quite a calming colour.
I think so too. I'm doing a little research on the proper colours to set our guests' minds at ease, to reduce the stress that they might feel in the world, and just help them. And you need to. It's almost furnished like a very pleasant drawing room. There's comfortable-looking green chairs, pale green walls, curtained windows with net curtains, and a view out over the sea. And he gestures for you to take your pick of the seats.
This does wonders for the oppressive feeling of this building.
I know, right? It's, some of it can be awfully cold and drafty, but I've tried to do my best. Excellent, Pete. You have brought our guest. And you see the orderly from before entering with a second figure. He's dressed in, I guess, almost pajama-like clothing. Like, probably a similar
Franco's
pale green to the
smock.
curtains.
Mm.
And he's got very blonde hair that's a little sort of patchy and stringy in places. One side of his face looks like it's been burnt. His eyes are slightly sunken dark shadows underneath him. He looks like he hasn't seen much sunlight in several years. And it's probably a little thinner than would be healthy. But other than that, he looks to be a young man in his probably early 20s. And his eyes sort of flicker over the three of you and settle on Franco.
Hi.
Hello again. I see you've met before. I was just about to introduce you, but
I hadn't realised you had met before.
The last time I was here, I and Dr. Lake went to him.
Oh.
We're talking a little. Just, pleasurable conversation, right?
great to see you're acquainted. Charles, this is Dr. Mortimer Davenport and Augustus Green, and you already know Franco Bernice. Gentlemen, this is Charles Belfont. I will, just think of me as part of the wallpaper. I will, I'm just here just to make sure that nothing gets out of hand. Same with Pete over there. Just imagine we're not here. I'll leave you gentlemen to your conversation.
Okay. Good morning, Mr. Belfont. How are you today?
I am as fine as ever. What is this about?
I believe Inspector Barnes spoke with you quite recently.
The police officer?
Yes, the police officer. We were assisting him with his case.
I see. Who's we?
Well, us.
I see.
Franco, Augustus, and myself.
Just the three of you?
Currently.
Right.
You're rather suspicious.
Well, it's just that,
I suppose you don't get many guests.
I don't, all my family is unfortunately dead, you see. At least all the family I was close to. They were murdered.
I believe there was a story in the paper about an explosion or something. It's quite some time ago. It's about
Still
5-6
quite
years.
fresh in my mind, yeah.
I could understand it would be.
Yes.
But yeah, we're just following up for Inspector Barnes. It's very possible you have not heard, because I suspect you do not get much news.
We don't get papers here, oddly enough. No.
No, but there'd been a murder he was investigating, we're looking into. But
And that brings you here to me.
well, in his journal he mentioned how he had spoken with you. I'm not sure how it is relevant to the case he was on.
He asked questions about my family. He asked about my cousins. I didn't know them well. I only met them about once or twice, so I didn't have much to tell him. But
That's
he,
rather strange. I wouldn't have thought. But perhaps it was something else he was looking into. He may have been investigating a couple of cases.
I had an uncle that was murdered, you see.
Which uncle was this? I'm not sure if I've heard of this. Was this when the building exploded where you...
No, a completely separate murder. It seems that Miss Carter is not alone in trying to wipe out my family.
Miss Carter? You mean, I believe Miss Maddie Carter?
Oh, you do know her then.
I've spoken to her.
And the
couple of
Lady
times.
Irene as well? She's still around?
I must admit, I've not spoken with Lady Irene in well over a year now.
They're still around.
I believe they are. Miss Carter, I believe I met at an exhibition to do with Egypt, an art exhibition of some fashion.
Did she tell you about how she murdered my family?
No, strange enough, that did not come up in the conversation.
No, not surprised.
Not really tea time conversation, but yeah.
You mentioned your uncle. What happened? Which uncle? Because I've not heard of this. I heard about your family's...
Cousin, really, rather than uncle, to be truthful.
Was this
My
what...
mother always referred to him as an uncle, but he was her cousin.
Was this what Inspector Barnes had spoken with you about, or...
That's what he wanted to ask about, amongst other things. So.
Which uncle was this? Because I'd not heard of this murder.
Well, my uncle James disappeared in London years ago, but it was my mother's cousin, Oliver, who was murdered 20 years ago now.
That's quite some time.
Right here in Brighton.
How did he die?
Someone ripped his heart out of his chest.
Oh, so that's the connection then.
Possibly. Your inspector friend seemed to find it an intriguing detail. You asked me a lot of questions about it.
Oh, well, why don't you give us the summarized answers that you gave him?
Well, as I said, I didn't... It's rather before my time. I was only a child when it happened. And the only witness was Oliver's daughter. Poor little Rosie. They said she was mad. She said that a dark wizard came and tore out her father's heart and ate it. And then disappeared.
That does seem quite far-fetched, but she was quite young at the time. She may have misinterpreted what she had seen. We sometimes do.
Perhaps.
Was that wizard's name Dagon or Cthulhu?
I think if either of they were here in Brighton, we would have bigger problems to worry about.
Educate me, please.
Dagon is the Lord of the Waters. He has no need to walk about murdering mortals. He is father.
What about Cthulhu?
Where did you hear that name?
Oh, there was this really interesting book that came out a couple of years ago. It's fiction. Took me forever to figure out how to pronounce it. I'm an avid reader.
I'm going to give you one piece of advice.
Augustus.
You probably shouldn't read any further.
Tell me why.
Whatever Cthulhu is, it was a name that even my father feared in all his diggings and research.
Your father was a friend of him?
I don't think anyone counts as his friends. One might as well easily say you are friends with, I don't know, the apocalypse, or the angels of the Lord, or whatever other powers you believe in. But,
oh, so he's a god.
Yes.
He's a god. Okay.
A god we should all fear.
Do you fear him?
Yes. I'm not
Do you
stupid.
Do you fear the wizard? Dark wizard?
Well, I thought him but a tale from a terrified child's mind, but if what the inspector says is true, it seems that another cousin has been killed. Although, as I said, I'm not in touch with that part of the family, so I couldn't really help him out on that part. But
do you think Maddie did it?
it doesn't really seem like her style. No houses were burnt down, and only one person was killed. You see, when Maddie murders people, she tends to go for the entire family, 3 generations all in one.
So she's efficient.
Oh, yes. My mother, my father, my sister, my niece.
Can I add? Oh, go ahead, Franco.
Why are you then alive still?
I was very near the door when the house exploded. It was not intentional.
I see.
She meant to kill me too.
May I ask a question that I'm going to preface it with, I mean no disrespect, but it might be a tough question for you to hear. So you, just so I understand, your father researched Dagon and Cthulhu, and he was into all that stuff, right? Very
My
knowledgeable
father was a
man.
historian, an academic, a mavis of sorts, I suppose.
So, and how far, Keeper, how far am I from Mr. Belfont?
Depends what seat you chose. Either about 3 meters away or about less than a meter away.
So I'm gonna stand up and get as close as I can before it draws the ire of the psychiatrist or the big muscle man.
Perhaps keep your distance.
I want them to feel comfortable. This is an intimate question. It should be asked with respect.
Doctor, please.
I'm gonna lean in. I'm gonna say, if your father and your family were into such dark and dangerous things like Cthulhu, who should be feared, the dark god, and Dagon, the lord of the stinky water, then couldn't one argue that it was best that they all get murdered and purified by fire? And I'm going to lock eyes, and I'm going to make I want to try to make an intimidate check only with a stare. Nothing physically hostile, otherwise.
You have a penalty die to this.
Oh, I was trying to get a bonus die.
No.
So I just
you can, because as you lock eyes with him, what you see staring back at you is anger. Just there is fury in there, and the sense that if it wasn't for the fact that there are other people here in this room, and that there is, the doctor and the orderly watching,
okay.
Despite any sort of difference in strength, he would be going for you right now.
And
There's an option. He's barely restraining himself.
I'm gonna smile slightly because that's how I feel at having heard him slander Maddie's name so openly. So do I roll green or purple?
Purple. He draws back politely, clearly a little unnerved and unsettled by your stare.
And
he blinks first.
I'm gonna whisper.
Please actually don't whisper, because I can't hear you.
Gotcha. If you ever feel up for it, you can find me in London, and you can send whoever you want to send. But Maddie's a dear friend of mine. I don't like the way you talk about her. I don't like your conspiracies. But I do like your gumption. I'm going to take my seat.
He edges back slightly and then turns to Dr. Croft and goes, I think, Doctor, if I may, I would like to return to my room now.
Thank you for your time, Mr. Belfont.
Please take our guest back to his accommodation.
Was a real pleasure.
No, the pleasure was all mine. I'm sure we'll meet again at some point. Oh,
Yeah.
and if he's still around, give my wishes to Zachary, if you ever see him.
Yeah.
Just wonder what became of him.
I've heard the name, I think.
Who's Zachary?
Oh, is he gone? Pity. I actually liked him.
Well, if he's gone, maybe he's hanging out with your mom and dad, and I'd turn and leave.
Thank you. Perhaps a little gentler language when handling our patients. Some of them are a little fragile. I was quite impressed by the way you played into his delusion. It's an interesting approach. I've tried it on some patients. They're not with Mr. Belfont in the past.
You have to make a connection with them, because they're connected somewhat to this world, but they have their own world. And when you bridge that gap, you can level with them.
Well, yes, I totally understand. You see, Belfont has his own very specific set of illusions, the way he sees his world. This idea that some woman killed his family, or a pair of women, is part of that whole delusion. You see, it was a gas explosion.
I'd heard that. That was in the papers about the gas explosion.
Case closed.
Doctor,
he wants to apportion and assign blame. It's understandable after such a traumatic experience.
It'd be like survivor's guilt. Feels like there must be someone to blame for it.
That too, to lose one's whole family in such a tragic way. And
Well,
his niece was just a baby at the time.
I heard that this is just through certain channels that I run in, but I heard that he has survivor's guilt because he's the one who accidentally started the fire. And so it's easier for him to, and he's also deeply sexist, so it's easier for him to blame two women, yada yada, and it's just
interesting. That's not the impression I've had from speaking to him. But
I'm just what I heard.
No, I mean that was looked into at the time with some great detail, although
money buys silence and buys facts.
Yes, the police did rule out his involvement in the actual explosion. It was, but yes, he's a curious young man with a very, very skewed outlook on the world. I believe his upbringing had quite an impact, and his father had some very strange notions that fed into his delusions after the tragic event. I'm working on unpicking it, but it's very slow going, and my predecessor didn't make much progress there, and perhaps did some harm. I
think the thing to remember is that when somebody's rich and spoiled, and their dad is rich and spoiled, and they don't have to work, they find ways to entertain themselves. They're not real scholars or people of work or profession. So it's hard for him to relate.
I mean, most scholars are gentlemen, first and foremost, surely. Like, only an educated man can become a true scholar. Only a gentleman is best positioned to wisely use that information which he gains.
I like to think of a gentleman and a scholar as not something that you arrive at, but something that you're always working towards to be.
I suppose. Interesting worldview. Interesting.
Regardless, I've dropped enough of my thoughts. Might we speak with Mrs.
Miss
Rosalind?
Oh,
yes, thank you.
Pete, would you fetch Miss Moore? I would ask you to be a little gentler on her.
I'm going to shut up. I am not equipped to deal with this conversation.
I'm going to go to Augustus, past Augustus, and just whisper, she's not involved as far as we know.
I'm going to whisper back, I understand. And it sounds like she was an actual victim. Also, Belfont, totally going to haunt his dreams.
Whilst Franco and Augustus are whispering to each other, I'll ask the doctor, how did you choose to become a specialist in this particular field?
Well, I always felt... See, I've always wanted to help people. And this seemed, when I saw the way that poor unfortunates have been treated in the past in asylums and sanatoriums, I wanted to make a change and just really put my effort into helping people who have suffered in this world and have suffered the ills of this tumultuous world that we live in, and set them on a path to peace.
That's very notable.
Yes.
There doesn't seem to be enough people helping those who've suffered mental trauma.
No, but it is a growing field, and I want to hope it continues to grow.
It's one of the things I'll have to read up on.
Yes. Miss Moore, please, do come in. These gentlemen just want to ask you a few questions. And Pete, the orderly, ushers into the room a dark-haired young woman in a green dress. Again, quite pale, almost unhealthy looking, with this very pallid skin, set off by dark hair. She's wearing this green smock-like dress. She nervously takes a seat in front of you, the seat that Charles has just vacated. And she...
I was actually waiting for the doctor to introduce us to her.
The doctor goes, where is he? This is Franco, Dr. Davenport, and Mr. Green. They're just here to ask you a few questions. So I'll just be here in the corner. If any time it gets too much or you need my, just let me know. It can be gone. Just pretend I'm not here. I'm just part of the wallpaper. Me and Pizzu. Nothing to worry about. Gentlemen, she's all
Good
yours.
morning, Miss Moore. How are you feeling today?
I'm fine.
We are just assisting with an investigation a police inspector from London's looking into. Inspector Barnes, I believe he may have spoken with you recently, maybe a few weeks back.
Last week.
Oh, last week. We are just helping with his case and chasing up the same things he was investigating to try and bring closure to his case.
The sorcerer's back. Still
Sorcerer?
Dark wizard.
Hmm.
I saw
What can you...
him. No one believes me.
How old were you when you saw him?
9.
9. That was quite a while back.
Was.
Did this dark wizard look like anyone familiar to you, or...?
He had a cape on, or a cloak. I never saw his face. I hid.
Do you have a beard?
I don't think so.
Was it your father who had been killed by the sorcerer?
Yes, my father.
I'm very sorry about your loss. But did your father recognise him when he saw him, or...?
I don't think so. He looked afraid, but there was a stranger in the house, so that made sense.
It does. I mean, if someone turned up at my house dressed all in black like that, I'd be worried. It's not something you'd expect.
Exactly. As she's talking, you notice her gaze is fixed on Franco. She's talking to you, but she's looking at Franco the entire time.
Do you two know each other?
Yes, we've met.
Where and when?
Oh. Down in the deeps. In dreaming.
Underwater?
While I was sleeping, I saw him there.
Dr. Mortimer, may I have a word?
Of course.
I am going to whisper to him, and I'll get Franco like kind of in a huddle, and I'll whisper, I think you're going to have to ask her about Dagon and Cthulhu. Good luck with that, chap. Like, up upside your head like a light tap and go, yep, have fun.
I'm not I don't know you.
You were there. I know you were. You hear the song too. You hear him call to you. Down in the deeps.
Who?
The Lord of the Deeps who lies sleeping.
How would somebody who's sleeping touch with somebody?
In dreams, obviously.
So he's talking to people in dreams.
Not talking. Calling.
How do you call without talking?
He does.
Interesting.
I've seen you there.
What's his name?
Shh. We don't say his name.
Was he the Dark Wizard?
No. Far more powerful. He will
Is there-
protect me from the wizard.
Is there a connection between the two?
I don't know.
If he's asleep, how does he protect people?
He is great and powerful. He will protect us.
I will try my very best to be as calm and collected. To mainly not to let the doctor notice my state.
You know what? I am going to ask for a sanity roll off Franco here at this point.
Sure.
Oh,
Nice.
no.
You sort of see him shy back a little. That's one more point of sanity lost to that. It's just something quite unsettling about seeing her. She is the girl you saw in the dream, floating in the water. It is the one and the same. She sat there right before you.
This is very interesting. So you saw me in a dream, and know me from there. And this deep one is dreaming?
He is not a deep one. He is a god. Far above the deep ones. Or far below, I suppose. Above. Below. Maybe?
Above in the hierarchy and below in
Maybe, yes. Yes.
I see. Okay. So the deep one is something different. And what did you say, Deep Lord?
The Lord of the Deeps?
Lord of the Deeps.
He doesn't really,
I mean, you have to refer to
him
them.
anything. Nobody else wants to talk about him. Nobody
I wanna-
else here hears him.
What does he look like? Maybe Franco's seen him.
Oh. We've not seen him. I've not seen him. Have you seen him? Have you spoken to him?
I don't think so.
I want to see him.
How long have you known him?
Since I got here,
What's he say to you?
7 years ago, he doesn't talk to me. He doesn't need to talk.
But he calls to you.
Just, it's more of a feeling.
A
You know,
feeling.
when you know
Okay.
that there's someone watching over you. There's someone there who,
I do know that feeling. You feel safe,
a presence.
taken
Yeah.
care of.
It's always there. It's waiting in your dreams in the darkness there.
And you want to serve him?
I do serve him
How do you serve him?
by being.
So your existence is serving.
Yes.
I think I know his name. Can I ask you his name? I have 2 names. If I ask you one, would you tell me if it's right or wrong? I won't do
Okay.
it unless you give me permission.
All right.
The first name starts with a D. Dagon?
I serve. He is greater than Dagon.
Do you serve, starts with a C, is it Cthulhu?
Shh.
I won't say it again.
You do not speak his name.
He might wake up if you call him.
need more than that, I'm afraid. He will wake. One day.
Is he... I heard that he has friends in London.
Oh, I don't know. I've never been to London.
I've heard that he has friends here.
Bad things happen when you go to London.
I am one of the bad things that happen if you go to London. I understand, my child. Do you think,
What?
Do you think that the Dark Wizard fears him?
Everyone should fear him. Love him and fear him. And throughout this, you can see the Doctor looking confused and uncomfortable as this conversation goes on. Like, he's clearly paying great attention to everything you're saying. And he looks a little disturbed by what you're saying.
I'm going to walk over to the Doctor and lean in and say, Cthulhu's just... He was in, like, a book or a Penny Dreadful or something like that. Obscure.
Right. Yes,
It was obscure. It was obscure, but it was really popular for just, like, a fleeting popularity.
How strange. I mean, we don't really get magazines in here, so it must have been quite an old one for Rosie to know about it.
Just one of those kind of one of those things. She might have heard somebody else talking about it, might have seen it once
but
or twice.
perhaps, you know, she seems a little unsettled by it. Perhaps, let's talk of the, you know...
Yeah. And then we'll get back to the Dark Wizard and the thing. I'm gonna ask her one or two questions that might be a little harsh, and if she can't, not like before, but it's about her father. Very good. I'm just gonna pat him on the shoulder and go back.
Right.
Hey Rosie.
Mm-hmm.
When that bad thing happened to your dad, did the Dark Wizard like use a knife or a weapon?
No. He just held out his hand and he said something. And then there was so much blood. I hid my eyes. I didn't want to look.
Did he say anything to you, the Dark Wizard?
I don't think he saw me. I hope he didn't see me.
I don't think he saw you. Did he do anything after that?
I told you. He ate my father's heart.
I'm so sorry.
Policeman. He asked the same question, not all the same questions. He asked about my father.
Do you remember if anything was stolen?
We didn't have anything to steal. It's just me and father. We didn't have anything.
I'm very sorry that you had to go through that.
Why are you asking about it?
We were assisting Inspector Barnes with his case. And there's a similar case. Seems to be in London at the moment.
The wizard's in London. Who did he kill?
Just a very poor soul who got wrapped up in some bad business.
I think the gentleman may have been called Quentin Matthews.
You know him?
Yes.
Where do you know Quentin?
Matthews. Yeah.
Matthews, yeah.
Of course I know the Matthews. The same Matthews.
How do you know?
My grandmother was a Matthews.
What was your grandma's name?
Catriona.
Could you say that one more time?
Catriona.
Thank you.
But she's dead. She's long dead.
Does she
Well,
know?
No, she's not dead. Said to you. She went to the sea.
Is that where a lot of people go in your family?
Many. The sea claims us.
Does your family know about the guy whose name we don't say?
I don't think so. Father never mentioned him.
Did your father
They know
mention
about
anyone
Dagon,
else?
though.
Okay, all right.
But we probably shouldn't talk about that. Father always told me not to talk about that. Especially when the vicar came round.
Okay. Is there anything else? So we're trying to get justice for these horrible murders. Is there anything else that you know that we should know? Or have we asked all the questions that you think are useful?
Yeah.
Can I make a luck roll?
What for?
To see. So Augustus is running out of lines of questions, but he feels like he could ask a million more. So he's trying to like see if he could kind of like see if he could like elicit, something important from her.
That wouldn't really be a luck roll. And part of this is the keeper trying to think if there's anything that Rosalind would know that she won't mention you.
It was just an old journalism trick that I used to use in real life. Sometimes I'd ask that question and someone would go, "Oh yeah, no."
This was me thinking, is there anything else she would know? I don't.
If I refined it about her.
I've not been outside in a long time. I don't know much, but my cousin's in here. He might know more.
Charles?
My cousin Charles.
Gotcha. I'm gonna walk over to
his
the doctor.
His mother was a Matthews,
His mother was a Matthews.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to walk up to the doctor and lean in.
My mother used to say the Matthews were cursed. She said there was bad blood in the family. But then she died.
Augustus gets really demonstrably sad.
Right, well, I think perhaps that is enough questioning from Miss Moore for today. Gentlemen?
Yes, thank you, Miss Moore, for your time. Hopefully we'll get to the bottom of this and resolve this case.
Hey, doctor. With your permission and Rosie's permission, could she have a hug? I think she needs a hug. Rosie, would you like
I'm not sure that would be quite appropriate.
Okay.
A young lady such as herself.
I would
walk. Oh, go ahead, Franco. Sorry.
I would use the moment where the doctor's distracted with Augustus Green, and look at her and tell her, "See you later."
See you first.
Oh God. Oh Jesus. I'm gonna approach the doctor.
Maybe a listen roll.
Listen roll.
I'm purposefully trying to make a puzzle moment where the doctor will not notice.
Wise roll, but you are all. They do not hear what that was. They did not hear that exchange. You notice that he whispered something to her, and she whispered something in reply, but you have no idea what they said. As
ignorance is bliss.
Yes, as Miss Moore is led away from the room.
Hey, doctor. Let that girl go outside. She wants to go outside. Fresh air would be good for her.
I'm afraid in Miss Moore's case that's not advisable. She has a terrible habit of trying to, climb the wall and jump into the sea, which is not
very
what we
good.
want from any of our patients.
You've been very generous with allowing us to speak to your patients.
Yes, indeed. Is there anything else I can help you with before you leave?
You have any scones?
What? No.
Oh, okay.
I haven't, maybe a small idea.
I can get you some tea, though, if you'd like. You've must have travelled a long way.
Oh, no tea. No.
We'll probably have to be catching a train back soon, back to London. It seems that we've got someone in London who's copied an old murder. They seem to have killed someone in a similar manner to Rosie's father, but they've removed the person's heart at least.
Quite awful, copycat.
It seems to be, so I'm not sure whether it's linked in any way, but I don't believe it's a well-known murder, so I'm not sure how it could be a copycat unless it's someone who knew those originally involved. But we'll have to look into it and we'll see what we can find. Perhaps when we catch the person, there'll be some sort of closure for Rosie.
I hope so. Poor girl's been troubled for
might also be the same
decades
person
now. I mean, it's 20 years ago.
I mean, it's not like, people aren't 20 years old or older.
I suppose, quite likely. Well, yes, I hope I hope you get to the bottom of it. And as he's walking you sort of downstairs towards the lobby, sort of showing you out the door and goes, and if there's ever anything I can do to help the society in the future, please just give me a call.
Always. Maybe like fencing outside? The young girl really had a bad paleness.
Oh, fencing. I thought you meant the sport for a moment there. I was
no. So, I mean, her running into the water really isn't good, but, she really looks quite awfully pale.
She has been in ill health for some time.
And next time we'll make
something
an
in the
appointment
family,
first.
I believe. Yes, next time call first. Anyway, thank you very much for your visit there.
Thank you so much.
Interesting approach. It's always interesting to see how my guests respond to different style of conversation.
I was happy to show you the Augustus method. It's renowned in the field. There'll be books coming out about it soon.
Yes. Quite interesting. Anyway, gentlemen, good luck on your endeavours. And as the door of Albrooke swings shut behind him, you hear the key turning in the lock. I think that is probably a good place to go to break, otherwise I will forget to do so. So we'll be back in 10 minutes, and please excuse any technical glitches or spelling errors in the mid-roll. I like to leave things till the last minute. See you in 10 minutes. So, the doors of Albrooke close behind you, and you find yourself standing outside the sanatorium building. A cool breeze blowing off the ocean, bringing a sense of salt to your noses. The building behind you quiet and still, and you can see the carriage with your driver waiting, assuming you asked the coach driver to wait. Outside on the gravel drive. Over to you.
Well, let's get on board.
That was all interesting.
I have a lot of suspicions.
There's one thing I thought was strange, how the doctor mentioned the society, but we did not tell him we were members of a society, of the London Esoteric Society. He brought that up. It could be he worked out, it could have been he knew that Inspector Barnes had been working with the society in the past.
He also knew my last name and he didn't tell him.
You want to know what's even more devious than those two things? Although they definitely matter. is the fact that I got the vibe that when we were asking those questions, he wasn't just there monitoring his patient's well-being. He was taking mental notes.
So
He's in on it.
He's in on something.
Yeah. And it's very curious. And that hasn't backfired at all, as far as I know. Also, before I get yelled at again,
About meeting that lady in your dreams.
Yeah, kind of did.
What did you get up to?
Huh? Not something like that. Get your mind out of the gutter.
I thought you went swimming or something like that.
With a girl that is longer in this room than I am alive. What? That's kind of difficult. I'm 20, and she's in there for 20 years. She was 9 when she would get this. That doesn't fit. It's not. No, I was dreaming from like when I dreamt from one night. I saw basically her body just floating there, and it spooked me, and I woke up.
Well, you were whispering to her. Did she say something to you?
I mean, I felt like I should tell her that I did see her, so that in case these dreams happen again, I can talk with her there and get some more information. Because if it actually works, that's one more line of inquiry.
But what did she say to you?
She said something along the lines of "see you."
So you said, "Hey, look out for me," and she said, "Hey, I'll see you."
Yeah.
Well, that's weird. We learned a lot though. So I have an idea. We should probably sneak back in and kill Charles Belfont.
Maybe another day.
Probably just, maybe worthwhile to just do what we usually do to the entire building.
We don't want to burn all the other people up.
Oh,
I lost my cool when he was disrespecting Maddie. I don't know why that made me so mad, but it made me so mad. So I decided I was going to break him mentally, and I broke him mentally.
I mean, if you want to break him, then handing him that's probably going to work.
Franco?
What?
Arson is for cowards and small people.
I'm looking like from the top downwards.
You're taller than me, but you're smaller than me, Franco.
So,
you want to fight? Is that what you're saying? You're threatening me?
I'm not saying anything. I just look downwards.
You want to fight me? Huh? You want to fight me, tough guy? I start shadow boxing him, huh? All this skin and bones, you're tough now? Huh?
I didn't say anything.
Is this in the carriage, or are you still just stood outside of the asylum?
In the carriage.
Okay.
In the carriage.
Yeah.
You two could just arm wrestle.
I can break my arm on my own, thank you.
Probably.
I'm sure Augustus will be gentle.
Yes, I am a gentleman, and I proffer spiritual guidance now. Oh, I cracked myself up. Anyway, I took some notes, and so this is what stuck out to me. The Dark Wizard or the Sorcerer, that is strangely enough a very real thing. It just seems like it has to be. They're tied to this Cthulhu thing. Everybody around here seems to know about Dagon too. There's the Matthews connection with the grandmother, Patrona, I think was her name.
These not calling them by their names thing might have reasons, even though normal people don't believe them.
I'm going to lean into Franco. I'm going to look him dead in the eye, and I'm going to say the name Cthulhu 25 times in a row.
Franco, please make me a sanity roll.
Oh no, I was just being sassy. Oh god.
It's just this name. It's just there's something unsettling. Every time as Augustus keeps calling, you swear you. It's just the carriage is making its way down the road into the town.
Sea.
You swear you see the surface of the sea just into ripple as he repeats this name over and over and over. You're going to lose one more point of sanity.
That backfired spectacularly. So as I'm doing it, do I see like any reaction from him?
Franco, how would you be reacting?
I would probably be scrunching up my face and like, I'm not the kid here, but at the same time be like getting slightly nervous.
Oh shit. All right, so I'm completely oblivious to that because I'm too busy trying to be right and making my point. And like on the 23rd time, oh, Franco, oh, buddy, I'm sorry. I was trying. That was my pride, buddy. I'm
Fine, it's fine. Look, you can see the ocean from here.
Oh, that's probably the worst thing you could have possibly said. All right, Dr. Mortimer, I'm going to hand him over. I'm going to hand you over the notes that I took. And I'm going to just say, that's what I got. And I'm going to shut up before I cause any more harm. Franco, I'm so sorry.
It's fine. You didn't do anything. It's just don't do it too much.
The way I see it is this Rosie's father had been murdered by someone. She was saying he was a dark sorcerer. By the sound of it, her family in the Belfonts are pretty much tied up in the same sort of ocean water linked cult. So more than likely this dark sorcerer is someone tied in with a rival cult in opposition to him. And Quentin Matthews was linked to her family, so it looks like these separate families have their own various cults, and one of them's basically still about the different types of magic. Seemed like, I believe the Belfonts were involved with drowning people with magic. So this one this ripping the heart out the chest thing must be tied in with a particular cult. Unfortunately, I'm not that familiar with all the different types of cults there could be.
Well, Doctor, if you recall, one of the first things I said to you at the end of our first adventure is the best thing to do with cultists is to kill them indiscriminately. That's still my attitude. They all bleed, they all burn, they're all shit, they all have no purpose other than to die, and they're all dangerous.
Well, if we catch this person, he'll probably be hung for murder, assuming we can prove it. And if we can't, then chances are we'll end up killing the person.
As is tradition, yes. I'm going to make sure that our stagecoach driver isn't paying attention to us.
He wouldn't be able to, he's on top.
You're on the inside, he's up on the top.
Is it so loud that he probably wouldn't? Okay.
Outside, there's a rattling of horse hooves and wheels.
Okay.
It's unlikely he'd be able to hear what's going on inside.
Okay.
And especially because there's also the outside noise of the seaside town as you're arriving back down into Brighton.
Okay.
It's quite bustling outside. You can hear like an organ grinder, sort of like,
also the summer, so quite busy.
It's only May, but yeah, people are around. There's little stalls. You can see someone selling ice creams. Wait, has ice cream been invented yet? I don't know. Someone's selling potentially ice creams, potentially not, depending on the state of time. Yes.
So what we'll have to do, I think, is I'll have to do some research and see if I can find any sources of that spell that might be tied in with particular cults.
we need to. I just don't know, like we have so much information, but we have such little knowledge, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you would like to do in Brighton before heading back to London? You've still got an afternoon. You can spend it.
Is there a Ferris wheel?
You don't know how I'm going to have to look up the invention of the Ferris wheel.
I don't think they'd have the Ferris wheel, but they'll have similar things. We could always spend the afternoon here before catching the train back.
The Ferris wheel had not yet been invented. There are, however, a range of various other entertainments on the Brighton Pavilion and along the pier.
Gentlemen, let's
exciting novelties.
Let's go to the pier. We fight so much darkness, we have to have some types of fun.
We'll have to keep an eye on Franco to make sure he doesn't go and swim.
Franco, if you go and swim, and it's normal, it's fine. But you probably shouldn't do it. If you get all crazy-eyed and you go swimming, I'm going to backhand you.
Sure, if I go crazy, I do that.
So you can spend your time, there's various activities and games and entertainment. You can spend the afternoon relaxing for a little while, enjoying yourselves. But with the sound of the sea ever present beneath and around you, just a constant reminder of the great power of the ocean that lies just beneath your feet as you small humans play and party on top of it. But,
dance on the volcano ocean.
Yes. But yeah, after an afternoon of fun, you're heading back to London.
Indeed.
Okay. So you sit in a compartment as the train trundles its way back from the seaside, back into the crowds of the city of London. You see the smoke rising from the many chimneys, the hustle and bustle in the streets, as you step out back into the city. And by now, having spent a good afternoon, relaxing down at the coast, it's getting late in the day. Is there anything else you would wish to do today in London before nightfall?
I'd probably want to do some research and have a look through what books I have to see if I can find any information about... I don't think I'd find anything about rival cults to Dagon, because the books I have are very specialised, really.
Yeah.
I haven't got, like, the Book of Unspeakable Cults, for argument's sake.
No.
Which I'd be able to find something along those lines then. But in specific, I'm looking for information about ripping people's hearts out their chest.
Okay.
I'll be checking the 2 books I have, and I'll be checking just what unusual books I have.
Okay, you can either give me an occult roll, a mythos roll, or a roll against the rating of one of your books for this evening's research, depending on which avenue you want to take sort of first. Using your prior knowledge of the mythos, using sort of other occult avenues, or
I think
by
I'll probably
studying one of your existing books.
I'll check one of my existing books. I'll check the most recent one, the one that was formerly bound in flesh.
Yes, the book formerly known as the Book of Human Skin. Cults des Ghouls. The translation of, right? You've been working on...
I've been working on the translation, but I'll be checking both, if the translation and the original, but I'd probably have to roll French or something for the other one.
Yeah. Please, roll me a D100. The score to beat here is 36. As you scour through the book, you find various mentions of hearts. Mainly the devouring has hearts as various forms of rituals, but this book is very into necrophagy as an activity anyway. And most of their heart eating is hearts taken from corpses as sort of the way to gain power from whatever you're eating. But there's
Similar to
nothing
those
really.
jackal-headed things eating the bodies.
Yeah, it's just focus on the heart being something. If you are eating a body, you have to make sure you definitely eat the heart. It's a very important organ not to be missed out.
Important lesson to remember.
But nothing really more specific than that.
Nothing. Well, that's the only thing I was thinking of doing, was just having a looking at. I didn't think I'd find it because it didn't seem to fit the cult.
Okay. I mean, it's muscle, so probably not that bad. Eating the heart.
No, I mean, eating hearts. Hearts would be eaten. Not human hearts, but animal hearts being eaten was not unusual and would be perfectly reasonable suggestion. If not necessarily if you got the option of better meats, but definitely heart meat would not be an outlandish thing to consider. Not human, obviously. Also, heart meat's quite nice.
Yeah.
Lamb's hearts make excellent curry.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I would probably. I have to try that. I would I would ask Mortimer, and I would see if I could also go to that room that Maddie took us into. I'd want to read up on Cthulhu as much as I could.
Which room is this?
We went to a room. It was like locked. I think it was in the basement or somewhere in the Esoteric Society.
There was a library.
The library. I thought that there was a room in the library. I'd go to wherever. I guess I would ask Mortimer. Hey, Mortimer, Maddie's not here. Do you know if there's any books on this Cthulhu and where they would be, and if I could try to read them?
I think those books Maddie would probably keep on her person or locked up securely somewhere.
Yeah, Mortimer doesn't know where Maddie keeps her copies of actual tomes. She has not told you where she keeps them.
Yeah, I was after those copies, if I remember.
Yes.
I believe she's probably got them locked up in the safe or locked up in a safe in a room, hidden somewhere. But there are other books here on the occult. I suspect in this library there will be other ones, nothing that deals directly with cults or mythos.
Well, if you could think of perchance anything that would be useful for me learning more about this Cthulhu, that would be great. But if not, then I would probably excuse myself. I would go probably to my bedroom. I would stand in front of a mirror, say the name Cthulhu 100 times, and lay down and end it with, after the 100th time, say, "Come get me, you bastard." Then I'd lay down and take a nap and see what happens.
You're
just going to go to bed and sleep.
Franco's, is it?
No, I
was just saying, with you saying it 100 times and Franco's in the room next.
I would not say it. I would not say it near Franco. I have my own room. I stayed in his room the night before.
Yeah, because of
reasons. Because of reasons.
So, Franco, was there anything you wanted to do before bed? Or?
Just being tired. We've been on the shore the rest of the evening, and then went home, and so I'm gonna just head to bed and take a nap, sleep.
Okay. Could I ask for a power roll from Franco and from Augustus, please?
Oh, you coming with?
Oh, Franco, I'm so sorry.
As sleep claims you all, Augustus, you go from your normal night's dream into a dream that seems strangely more vivid than all the others. You find yourself back in the green room at Albrooke. Only it's not everyone else there, it's just you and Charles Belfort.
Where's Charles?
And you're seated in the same chair you were before. And you feel your body almost weighed down around you. Like your limbs leaden weight, it's unmovable. As Charles sits across from you and you see, he looks you in the eye, and you see a smile in his face, and you watch as through the cracks in the walls and through the joints in the window, water starts to seep in. A few drops at a time at first, seeping up behind the wallpaper, causing it to ripple and bulge until water starts trickling through the cracks, flowing more and more, rising up around you. You're choking, struggling for breath as the water reaches your chin, up to your nose, slowly up to your eyes, as this water rises and fills the room. And Charles just sits there across.
Can I say anything to him before the water gets up to my mouth?
You can try. Yes, you have a moment as the water is just rising up, reaching your lips.
I'm going to look him dead in the eyes and say, the difference between me, you, and your family, boy, is that I don't break. This is
And as the water rises up in your mouth, your words lost in a string of bubbles as the water rises up around you, darker and deeper. And then you're sinking down, down, deeper down, the water growing darker around you. Long strands of kelp reaching up, was rising around you, serpentine-like in the darkness. And you see around you a city rises from the black depths, great slabs of stone sunken deep into the mud. As you float there, down the silent depths, you see two figures ahead of you. A dark-haired young woman in a white dress and a familiar form. And Franco. In the depths of a familiar dream, you see Rosie more. As the city calls you down to the depth. And then as you turn, you see Augustus floating down there too. Drawn down into the dark. And I need Augustus and Franco to make me sanity rolls at this point.
Am I able to move my arms and point at him? Or am I still kind of like stuck in that unmoved
It's a
state?
dream. You are able to move though now at this point. The movement sluggish, dreamlike. And as yet,
I'm gonna point at
unbroken.
him. Point at my heart.
And Augustus, you awake. The dream falling away around you. But
I
though
slap
it has
myself in the face as hard as
not
I
left
can.
any marks on you today, you hear this soft sound of the sea in the back of your mind. And this feeling that something has its hooks in you. The beginning of something. Franco, I'm afraid you use another point of sanity as you wake. The last sort of memory being seeing Augustus there too.
I didn't get a chance to try and talk underwater, right?
No,
Okay.
but you saw her there. And you saw the city once more in your dreams. But morning has come. Light streams in through the crack in the curtains. can hear the bustle downstairs, the sound of being laid ready, of James making breakfast, overseeing the provision of breakfast. A new day has dawned.
I'll get up and just sit next to Augustus's door.
I'm gonna scream, Franco! Mortimer!
I guess I'm getting in.
I'm gonna grab you by your collar. Are you okay? Are you safe? Are you safe?
I think I told you not to use the name.
I did it to save you, but I fucked up. I fucked up, Franco. I thought I could help, and I couldn't help.
Oh, I think I said those same words a couple of yesterday.
Yeah, and the day before, and the day before, and the day before, and the day before.
See? It's fine. Happens. It's okay. I'm all right.
It's fine.
I'm completely fine. I'm completely fine. By the way, storyteller, what happens if I hit exactly my daily limit? Oh, I kind of was safe, but I kind of was not. So...
I'll say for now, you've not gone below your daily limit. You can reset your daily limit. The new lower point.
Oh, this is fine. I'm good. I'm okay. I'm fine.
But be careful about losing any more. It's if you go under your daily limit, bad things happen.
All right. I'm going to swing open the door and go find Mortimer.
I'd be, as soon as I heard you call, then I would have headed towards your voice.
All right. I'm going to meet you, I guess, in the hallway. Mortimer, I fucked up. I made a bad choice.
What happened?
So before I went to bed, I said that name 100 times, and I told him to come get me. And I called him a bastard, and I fell asleep, and then I had a dream, and then there's that Charles asshole, and then he summoned water into that same room that we were in, but I didn't make a coward of myself, and I kept staring him in the eyes because I'll always be harder than him because I'm Augustus and he's not. And then I started sinking, and I sunk down in a bunch of water. He didn't follow me because he's a coward. But then there was this big city, deep in the water, and then there was that girl that we spoke to yesterday, and then I saw Franco, and all of our dreams are interconnected, and that God is very real, and we're gonna have to kill him.
Well, you woke up, you survived, and we have a new
Franco's
day.
not doing so well.
I'm fairly certain that killing a god is quite the impossibility. But hey.
Franco?
Yeah?
Up until a year ago, we would have thought that having shared dreams for some underwater death sea god with a bunch of cultists was impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dr. Mortimer?
I'm gonna go get scones.
Yeah,
You go get scones.
Yeah,
I'll chat to Augustus briefly on the way down.
All right. I'm going to wait until Franco's out of earshot.
Same.
Okay. I'm going to look you dead in the eye, Dr. Mortimer. I'm going to say, listen, this stays between you and me. But I need you to understand something, Doctor. I'm a piece of shit. And I'll never be a good man. And I can never atone for the things that I did. The only good that I can do in this world is to try to stop this stuff and keep Franco and his dumbass brother alive. They're stupid. They're smart, but they're also stupid. But they're pure of heart. So I'm ready to die. Kill a lot of stuff with me. I'm Augustus, and that's what I do. But I need you to know that I'm not looking to make it out of this alive. That'd be a bonus, but that's where my mind is. So I did, maybe out of anger, say that name 100 times because I thought I could have some crazy dream with them and then kill the god. And boy, was I wrong. That was not a tactical move. That was horrifying. I felt like my heart stopped 100 times. Definitely going to kill that Charles guy. Oh yeah, he's gonna kill him. Probably going to burn his body just to be safe. But I'm not here for a long time. I'm not here for a long time, Doctor.
Well, the longer you're here for, the more good you can do.
I don't really do a lot of
That's
good.
what the society's set up to combat these sort of things and stop these things harming people, I'm guessing. But
Yeah.
I'm beginning to think that if Franco's not doing well, we may have to have him be given some help, whether he wants it or not.
The alienist?
That sort of thing.
You want to just take him to one right now? After scones? Scones are happening, Doctor. Scones will always happen.
True.
Damn right.
We'll have to see how he does.
All right, let's go get those scones.
James acquiesces to your rather unusual suggestion of scones for breakfast. But luckily they had some left over from yesterday. Yes, the cook makes them every day just in case.
It was a genius idea. That's tasty. And I kind of needed something familiar right now. Just feels good, you know?
So, what should we do next?
Hey, Franco.
Hmm?
I got a great idea.
Antiquarian.
Or, why don't we all go to an alienist together?
You know that the last one we met yesterday is another guy that's trying to do exactly the same things that ends us up in that stuff. And the one before is now currently in its own asylum.
Okay. That guy was very soft. If you remember, I didn't even want to be around him. He was a loser. Of course that happened to him.
So from the amount of people that deal in that stuff that I know, there is 2 of 2 that end up in that direction.
Dr. Mortimer, didn't you know an alienist that helped you?
I do, in fact. Whether I'd... let's see. Whether he's available is another matter, but we could find one.
Is he in the city?
There's probably a few in the city we could look into.
Was the one that you used in the city?
I believe so.
Well, then they're available. Trust me. Let's go.
We probably need to book an appointment.
No, we're good. Trust me. It'll be fine.
I mean, if you want the guy to help me, he should maybe not be salty about you.
Listen, Franco, you have a fair point. I have a lot of money. We have money. You're charming. Dr. Mortimer's a gentleman. I'm kind of charming and ha ha hee hee. Maybe I'll cut your tongue out. It'll be fine. You either do things or you don't do things. And if you don't do things, you're the thing that gets done. That's in the Bible. It's not in the Bible. I made that up, but it makes sense. Let's go.
Okay, as you head over to Mortimer's alienist, I'd like a group look roll here at this point. I don't know who has the lowest look currently.
36? What happened? Where the fuck did I get that much luck from?
Anyone got lower than 36?
Okay, I guess it's mine then. 29.
The alienist is open. And although you turn up unannounced and in a state of great chaos, he does have time to talk to Franco this morning. It will take, for Franco at least, all of the morning. Between, waiting around till the appointment's ready, talking. If Franco is willing, this is to, spend this time and engage.
It'll take a moment where I'm making sure. I'll be basically asking trick questions, trying to find out whether the guy is actually just trying to help me or secretly an occultist and trying to find other stuff.
Okay.
So
that could be part of the treatment.
Who knows?
Would you roll me a D100 here? You're trying to beat 75. Let's hope you do. You do. Please roll me 1d3. As you... So... After a success... Who knows what goes on behind the closed doors, what Franco talks about with Mortimer's very good recommended alienist, but whatever it is, it seems to go well. Franco, you regained 3 points of sanity.
Back to the start of the session.
And
yay!
This, however, will be sort of the limit you can regain through this method for the rest of the month. So, just to prevent any sort of exploitation of the mechanic. Will usually be gained over the course of a month. But as Franco is talking through the various Eldritch horror related problems it's up to Franco how much he actually lays out in his terms and how much he perhaps
I think the moment I'm starting to notice that the guy is trustworthy, or
he seems trustworthy. He does not seem to be like a cultist, as far as you can tell.
Yeah, I'm gonna start to explain I'm telling him that they are delusions, I think, and then I'm going to tell exactly what I think happened. I'm not gonna implicate myself like in any houses that might have not burned down, but I'm going to tell them that I think that this was like cultists and that those were cultists and all the thing, and that it's a ginormous conspiracy.
Okay.
And that I know that they are delusions, so that he doesn't, put me in the cell next to Belfont. Because I really don't want to go there.
Probably
but
wise. But as Franco is there, are the other two of you waiting around, or do you have any other business you would like to attend to that morning?
I've got a feeling you'd probably wait to make sure Franco doesn't do a runner.
Yeah.
I want to... How long would it take for me to get to the police station?
Not long. It was just round the corner.
Okay. I am going to go and talk to the inspector that we talked to last time.
Yes. Mr.
Green.
Green, yes, Green. How could I help you?
Hi. Thank you for your time. When we last spoke, it was me, Maddie, a couple other people. There's the
yes. I remember. It was just the day before yesterday.
Hectic. Yeah. I was just wondering. I'm just asking you straight up, respectfully, if there's been any updates on the case or anything.
Yes, there have actually. We've managed to crack the name of the case at the Red Lion. Yes.
Oh, could you please tell me more?
Yes, we've managed to get the name of the victim.
Oh, Quentin Matthews?
Wait, you know?
Yeah. I know a lot of things.
Why didn't you tell us?
Because I didn't know then?
Well, yes, Quentin Matthews travelled up from Portsmouth.
Yeah.
His family are in shipbuilding down in Portsmouth.
It was,
boat building, really. A bit smaller.
I was, again, I'm just going to say this straight up. Last time I was here, I noticed that in your drawer you had newspaper clipping and maybe some findings and things like that. My name is Augustus, right? I have a reputation Sometimes it's a good reputation. Sometimes it's a bad reputation. What I'm trying to tell you, yes, I'm that Augustus Green. I don't have any warrants out. Trust me, I'm very, very up to date on that. I've changed.
You watch his
my
expression
life.
sort of start to close up a little. His friendly demeanor sort of fading away.
And see that the reaction that you just had is fine because I've earned that. But I'm trying to level with you. I changed my life. If you look back in your records the past year, there's nothing on me, and there's a reason for that. I run a business. It's a protection business. I literally protect people when they want to go from bar to bar, or I'll stay overnight in their shops and make sure no one breaks in, when there's a lot of burglaries.
Mr. Green, get to the point.
The point that I'm making is that right now, for the first time in my life, I'm actively doing good and helping good people. And that's never going to change. I'm not going back to what I was. But I just want to know as much as I can about what's going on so I can finally do some good before my time on this earth is gone.
Give me a persuasion roll. You do have this a penalty die because you did remind him that you are a criminal.
Crap, I was
He
hoping
is
my
not
honesty would help.
well disposed towards even reformed criminals. He's not. It would have made no difference anyway. That is a failure.
Do I have enough luck to change it?
Nah,
No.
Okay.
that's 59 luck that would cost that.
Please. Unless you have any other information that you're withholding from the police that you would like to provide, Mr. Green, I believe our conversation here is done. Is there anything you want to tell us?
I told you everything that I know.
Well,
But just please remember that a man came here trying to help and trying to change his ways.
if you come across any information, please let us know immediately.
I will.
That is how you can help. Good day.
I leave. Dignified, though. Straight up, walk out slowly, respectfully, head held high. And I go back to the analyst.
Okay. Mortimer, did you want to have done anything during this time?
I think I would have stayed there to make sure Franco didn't escape.
In which case, by the time Augustus returns and Franco is finished up, it's around lunchtime.
Were you waiting outside for me?
I'd nowhere better to be. You appear better than you were. I think you do anyway.
I mean, it was a constructive conversation, and I'm sure hoping that he's not going to fall down the same rabbit hole I did. We need to go and visit an archaeologist, don't we? Archaeologist, antiquarian is the word.
I believe there's a Dr. Patton, possibly.
Exactly.
I believe we have a business address for him.
You do, yes. You have I think just the next street over from your shop in Bloomsbury.
Oh. I wouldn't know him by any chance.
You've never really met socially, no. You've probably walked past. It's a rather small, unassuming shop. There's quite a lot of shops of the sort, antiques places, book dealers, antiquarians around the area. Yeah, you've not really. Yeah.
I've not spoken to him, but
Not that you can recall.
It may have a familiar face that I've seen in passing.
Yeah. You possibly passed him in the streets without really knowing him.
We could head there now, or we could grab something to eat and then go there.
Go now.
Can do. I don't think it's too far away.
Okay.
I'm going to just fill them in on how my conversation went with the police officer.
I've not actually met Inspector Thorne before.
No, he's a cunt.
Just a bit of one.
I mean, I really... It takes a lot for a man like me to walk into the police station and confess his sins in a very general, non-chargeable manner, I might add, and then get rebuked and rebuffed by some coward who wears a badge and some copper buttons and thinks he's done something with his life. Only difference is his crime is legal.
That technically does make it a not crime, so yeah.
Franco, your semantics is...
Hey, I'm a reporter. I need to know semantics. That's important. And I'm proud of you that you know the word.
Yeah, I read your shitty articles.
You read?
Not anymore.
Okay, so you're heading over to H. Patton's shop. And as you realise really why you've not noticed it before, it's not so much a shop as a door with a little brass plaque next to it that says H. Patton Antiquarian. There's no sort of shop front. It's just a door, a bell, and a plaque.
Oh, let's see what happens here. I ring the doorbell, but Augustus is knocking.
So the sound of the door knocking and the ringing of the bell echoes. And you hear the sound of feet coming down a staircase. And after just a moment, a rather smartly dressed youngish looking man appears at the door. And you can see behind him just this staircase going up to an upper floor. It doesn't seem to be a ground floor building. But I do have a bell, you know. You don't need to knock. Good morning.
I'm just going to stare at him.
Oh, must have overlooked it.
Sorry.
Easy mistake.
Sorry to bother you. Trying to think now, best way to approach this. I believe you were looking into an estate of some fashion. You were assisting the dealing of an estate of my cousin.
Looking into an awful lot of estates.
I know. I think you must be quite well known, quite famous.
What's your cousin's name?
It was Earl Grey.
Oh, the Grey estate. Yes.
Grey estate. Yes.
Last year, yes. I have been handling. Well, not handling all that, but assisting with all that. I'm afraid most of the items have already either gone up for auction or been sold on. If you're looking for those.
No. I was just curious because obviously I'd known him for quite some time. He was actually my godfather.
Oh, I'm sorry for your loss.
I had actually, although I've known him my entire life, I had no idea he was into collecting antiques.
Quite a range. Lots of Egyptian, Roman, all manner of things. Yes.
Were they all put up for auction, or?
Some were. Some the benefactor of his estate.
Yes.
That's,
was it Silas Bennett? Or?
Yes, Mr. Bennett kept some of them. Some were put up for auction, some sold on through various other channels. But as I said, I think most of it's been sold on. Was there any piece in particular you were interested in?
No.
Why don't we come upstairs, discuss in my
sorry.
office? Or best not to stand in the street having this conversation. Please, gentlemen, come in.
Yes, I'll just follow him.
And he leads you up this narrow staircase to essentially what is just this little office. There's a desk. There's 2 chairs in front of the desk. He like rummages round and pulls out like a third folding chair. The third of you. And you see the shelving, like mostly just cabinets along the walls, and another door leading through to a second room behind. Sorry, it's not. Use the darkness in a small place. It's
I actually have a small business just round the corner from here. I believe it used to be called Blake's Books. I should have introduced myself. I'm Dr. Mortimer Davenport.
Oh, I keep meaning to call in there. I saw someone had taken that over from. Yes, she was Mrs. Blake by the end. Yes, someone had taken over her place. But I've been travelling a fair bit out the country, up and down, visiting estates. I'm not. You're quite lucky to run into me in London. I'm only drop by every few months to arrange sales and.
I tend to import and export unusual and rare books from Europe and other parts of the world that I've contacts in.
Oh well, we should definitely discuss further. I'm always interested in getting new lines. I travel quite a lot on the continent myself, but getting in connecting with an import-export dealer would be
yes. I try
a definite advantage.
I've been looking into importing artifacts as well from various places. I think primarily India and the Far East, but apparently there's a lot of interest in Egypt at the moment.
Oh yeah, very fashionable. Yeah, at least amongst historians and also those who just want a bit of the kudos.
I believe there was a Howard Phillips. I think you may have heard of. He's a bit of a archaeologist. I believe he was doing some digs in Egypt.
I suppose you could call him an archaeologist.
Well, he digs and finds things.
Yes, he likes. I think I've met the chap. First of all, himself an adventurer, I think.
Yes, I think he prefers that word as well.
But yeah, that's quite a fella.
But, I'd initially planned to offer my services to help with the estate in case there were, I don't know, any items that were relevant to my family, but obviously it's a bit late now. If there was...
Well, if you need any help tracking down, if there's anything that Salas has sold that you want to try and recoup, I can help you try and track it down. Just let me know what it is and I'll try and I can help you find it. I mean, I can't guarantee that the buyer will be willing to sell it back, but,
That's a very good point. I'll have to think about that. I'm not sure. I'm not familiar what was in...
Do you want tea? Sorry, I should have offered you tea. Do you want tea?
Sure, maybe. I'm not sure how long this will take.
Let's not bother then.
Yeah, I'm not sure what pieces were in Archie's collection, to be fair. So, it's more curiosity than anything else. There was... You tend to, track down items, I'm guessing?
Yes, if there's something you've heard of that I can act as an intermediary, approach the owner, try and arrange a purchase. Sometimes people, want to buy something, we don't want to necessarily let the person know who they are, so you've got a bit of an advantage when it comes to the haggling and the dealing.
Act as a middle person.
Yeah, that's mainly my role. Intermediary. I call myself an antiquarian, but I don't really have a shop as such. I'm more of just a facilitator.
So there's no stuff that we could just, take a look at for curiosity's sake?
No, not really. That's not quite how I operate.
Oh.
Not a museum.
Yeah, that's fair. I was just hoping, to get stuff that nobody gets to see, to pick quick peek. I mean, it's obvious you wouldn't, have that stuff lying around because somebody might steal it.
Quite.
There was something else as well. I believe it's completely unrelated to the original matter. Have you heard the name Quentin Matthews? I think he was involved with tracking down items for people.
Quentin Matthews. Let me just check my book. Matthews. So you see it flick through. You see it sort of looks to be like alphabetized by like flicks to the M's.
I believe he works in tracking down items.
Yes. No. Not according to my notes, at least here. He was a potential seller. He had some family antiques he was interested in selling. We were going to meet, but unfortunately, other business came up, and I had to call off the meeting.
Oh.
He's not been back in touch since, I'm afraid. But, this happens sometimes. People get cold feet. Sometimes, sadly, it was one of those chance things. His probably great value might just be some,
I was hoping he was like a reliable source of items. I'd heard things that he was acquiring some items to sell, so I wasn't sure whether it'd be something worth me looking into.
No, he'd sent a few letters asking if I was interested in buying some gold jewelry that had been in the family, but I said I'd meet him, but then I was called up to Scotland on business and make it back, and then, as I said, I've not been able to get in touch with him since.
Oh well, we've not been able to get hold of him either.
Oh, well, is he a friend of yours?
No, I'd heard his name mentioned, possibly the same items he was looking to sell. I assumed he was like an importer of items.
No, from the sounds of it, he's just
he just had a small number of items.
Or something. I don't know. Yeah.
Just a small number of items to sell rather than.
Yeah.
Ah well.
Talking about Quentin Matthews, right?
Yes.
I believe he worked the docks.
In the docks.
Something of that sort. Definitely sea related.
But I'll definitely get in touch with yourself should we need to track down any items, or
I'll be happy to help.
Or you might be able to find buyers for items I end up importing.
Exactly, yes. If you have things, I've got a lot of connections.
Have you got any interests at the moment that people may are looking for? Any particular items?
Yes, actually, it's quite the market, as I said before. Anything Egyptian, there's quite the market for at the moment.
Pharaoh related.
Definitely Pharaoh related. Yes, I mean, I tend to deal in some slightly unusual stuff. There's certain markets for things related. There's certain fad in sort of like mediums and theosophical societies for things tangentially connected with the occult. So anything with a witchcraft connection. Good word. Anything with a connection to the witchcraft or the unusual, that always sells well.
I'd not realised there was anything like that in Egypt.
I mean, not Egypt in particular. Just, I mean, in this country as well. Old manners. Regarding your cousin's estate, actually. There was one piece of note that was missing from the catalogue.
Ooh, what was it?
A necklace had gone missing.
Do you have a description of the necklace?
Silver and emeralds, I believe. Quite a valuable pice. I've got a buyer who would be very interested in purchasing it should it appear at any point.
I shall keep an eye out.
Have you ever seen the piece?
I shall have to keep an eye out for it.
Apparently, the Earl had purchased it for his late wife before her death.
Yeah.
How he acquired it was quite a mystery. Definitely no record of it being properly imported.
Ooh, that is spicy. And I'm just starting to take a few notes.
Hey, Franco, do me a favor and put your fingers in your ears for a second. Just humor me. Antiquarian, or whatever your very strange professional name is. I love all kinds of occult stuff.
Call me Harley.
Harley, I love Franco. Do me a solid, because I'm about to say.
Yeah. I'm going to just cut around and go downstairs.
So Harley, I love the occult stuff, and I am outrageously wealthy. So, you ever heard of anything related to Cthulhu? It's a very esoteric thing.
You seem to sort of look you up and down, taking in your clothing.
My eyes
Moment
don't
there.
break from him.
Not a name I hear brought up very often.
Yeah?
No.
Yeah. You have anything?
I mean, not at the moment, but if you're interested in acquiring it, I think I know a source of articles of worship from the South Seas, if that's really what you're interested in. It would
I'm
cost
interested
you...
in him. I'm interested in Dagon.
Oh, well, that's another matter entirely. You definitely know a fair bit, don't you?
I'm a goddamn genius.
Yes. Well, I mean, depends which iteration of Dagon you're talking. There's various Mesopotamic and other such Sumerian...
I'm talking what you have.
I don't have anything, but I know where I can acquire things. My main purchaser of such artifacts suffered an untimely demise a few years back, so
Oh, who was it? Since they're dead, there's no confidentiality.
I keep my secrets.
But I want your secrets.
Well, you can't have them.
Why can't I have them?
Well,
I'm rich.
not for free.
Well, what would it cost?
I'd like you to give me a credit rating roll here, Augustus. Let's see if you've got enough cash on you here to back this up. He names a price that sort of almost makes you wince. It's definitely more than you can afford.
Okay, well, I'm gonna lean into Dr. Mortimer, and I'm gonna whisper, "You're probably gonna want to leave the room, Doctor."
I'm going to check on Franco to see how he is.
Franco's very delicate these days. Harley?
Oh, sorry. Did you ask me something?
Yes.
So you two both... Is it just Augustus and Harley Patton now?
Yeah, I'm just wandering around to check on Franco.
So...
My friends will be right back, Harley. Harley,
so
I like you.
It's just me and you now.
It's just you and I. I like you a lot, Harley. You
That's good
have
to know.
a certain panache about you. And you're very industrious. That's another big word that I know. And you work hard, and you found a way to make a bunch of money by doing almost absolutely nothing other than bringing people together. That's one of the best hustles in the world that there is. So I'm going to say this to you, and I'm a very sincere man. I'm going to say this. I'm going to make an intimidate roll. I'm going to lean up and over the desk that I'm sitting and get right up in his face while I open my jacket. And then I'm not going to pull out my gun, which is on the left side, but I am going to show him my knife, and I'm going to say, I'm trying to save people's fucking lives. And if I have to do so in a really unfortunate manner, I already know where I'm going when I die. So there's no reason for me to be scared of anything. Give me the fucking names. Give me all the information you have. Tell me everything you know about this occult shit, and do it now. And I swear to God, I will never threaten you again. I will never darken your door. I will not hurt you, but I'm not playing around.
Okay, please give me an intimidate roll, please. And also a power roll.
Boop, boop.
Look, okay. Names. It was the Belfonts. Okay, they were the main buyers.
Okay, now this is what you're going to do for me. Everything you tell me, you're going to write down.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
It was the Belfonts. Yeah, they're a bunch of fucking assholes. Everyone knows that. They're pieces of shit. That's why they're all almost dead, right? Right?
Yes.
Right. You want
The
to know who
Belfonts
kills
are dead, right?
The Belfonts, almost all of them. There's only but a few left. It was the Belfonts, and they love the cult and all that shit. So
Yes,
tell me.
They purchased anything Dagon related, even tangentially.
Mm-hmm. And they also purchased Cthulhu stuff, didn't they?
Yes, a figurine. I sold it to William Belfont. Paid
Why
a
don't
pretty
you
penny
write?
for it.
I'm sure he did, and he died for it too. So why don't you write down the names that I need, and then I know it's the Belfonts. Any other related names, any other places, and who it is that they got it from, and what cities that they're in, and all that good stuff. And then write down all the Dagon stuff and all the Cthulhu stuff that you know that they had or have. And if you could, this is where I'm now. I'm not telling you now. I'm asking you because I've been fair and you've been fair. I need books on Cthulhu.
You don't have any books on. I mean, I can obtain some given some time. I can probably get you. There's a good translation of Nameless Cults I can get your hands on if you need it.
I have. Oh yeah, where is that at?
Well, I can purchase. I know where I can acquire one from.
Where can you acquire
it? There's a contact of mine up in Yorkshire who has a copy.
Okay.
Printed a few years back. An English translation.
Great. What's their name?
Walters.
Walters. Very good. Write that down for me as well. Well, here's the deal, and I mean this very much. How old are you?
35.
Okay. So for every year you've been alive, 3 times over, I've either maimed or murdered someone. Probably more, but I'm humble. So my point is, if you tell anyone about this conversation, I'm not going to kill you. But you're not going to have kneecaps, and your ankles will bend the wrong way.
Oh, I get the point. I get the point, definitely.
That's right. That's right. I have a knife. Don't get the point. Very good.
Yes, this conversation stays between you and me.
And God.
And I think that's the point where Franco would come up, because the moment Mortimer's come down, you let the two of them alone.
Yeah, so we'll get to that in a moment. So, is there anything else, Augustus, do you want to say before you finish up your conversation with Mr. Brown?
I just impress upon the fact that I need him to be thorough, and any and all places I can get stuff on Cthulhu, and I am gonna take out all the money that I have.
He starts scribbling it down, like writing down notes for you.
I am gonna take out half the money that I have and put it on the table and say, "See, you made this much money by not being an idiot. Wasn't this a great conversation we had?"
Yes, good. Excellent. Here's the notes.
That's right. Next time, don't get smart with someone who knocks on your fucking door.
Okay.
And then I leave.
Okay. So as you leave, so Augustus heads down with these papers in hands. Franco and Mortimer, you have a brief moment before Augustus comes back down. Or should we just?
You okay, Franco?
Yeah, I'm fine. Did you leave Augustus alone?
Briefly, yeah. Do you want to come back up now?
Yeah, sure. I mean, if he's... yeah, why not? It's like... I'm kind of worried.
It's at this point that Augustus comes down with the notes and the door swings shut behind him.
Sure, okay.
I take my papers, I hand them to Mortimer, and I said, I got so mad that I didn't think to ask them Harley about anything about the murder and our beloved dead inspector. If you want to go up there and ask him, that's probably a good idea, because if I see him again, I'm going to dent him. I'm pissed off. I'm just going to walk straight back to the society.
Okay, as he walks off, Mortimer, you see he shoved this sheet of papers into your hand.
Is there anything on the paper?
They're blank.
Oh, fuck, I didn't check to see if he actually wrote anything?
You saw him write it. You saw him write stuff, yes.
Oh, I'm an idiot. I just got conned. Oh, I'm going to have to run up there.
You saw him writing there right in front of you. You saw him writing.
I saw him writing, Mortimer.
Yeah. Mortimer, are you telling Augustus that they're blank?
No, I wouldn't have had time because you just handed them to me, and I would have just started heading up.
So, are you knocking back on the door? Swung shut, so you need to.
Yeah, I would have just put the papers in a pocket or something along those lines. When I reach the top, I'll just.
Well, the door's. So the door's downstairs, at the bottom of the stairs.
Oh.
It's
the door downstairs and
then stairs upwards after the door.
So we went outside, did we, or?
Yeah.
I thought we were just going down to the bottom of the stairs.
Unless you were just standing on the staircase this entire time.
I'm not sure if Franco.
It was only a very narrow staircase.
I was outside because I wasn't supposed to hear anything that he was supposed to be doing, so I was outside.
Very possibly, and the door swung shut behind Augustus.
Yes, it did.
I think I'll leave it at that. It's because it'll be locked.
There is a bell.
True. Well, as Augustus has walked off, I'll ring the bell.
No answer comes.
Okay, I shall start making my way to. Well, what do you think, Franco?
I don't know. Something happened.
Do you think Augustus offended him in some manner?
Initially, Augustus is a very direct individual.
I didn't notice any blood on Augustus, so that's a good sign.
I mean, yeah, probably. I'm not sure why he would give us empty pages, though.
Yeah, I would have gotten the pages out now and just had a look at them with Franco.
Just blank paper.
Blank paper.
So, I mean, it's possible to con him. But he's got pretty good eyes. He noticed me when I was, sneaking out. Don't think that's an easy thing to do.
Society, anyway.
Okay.
Sure.
As you head back to the society, Augustus has got back there before you in his quick march through the streets. What would you do when you got back to the society, Augustus?
You know what? I would probably sit in the welcoming room. I know there's a name for it, and it's I can't.
Lobby.
The lobby. I would sit there, two hands, my face in my two hands, and just muttering. I can't figure out if I'm the good guy, the bad guy, the hero, or the crook. And just reflect on my sad existence.
Right. Not far behind you, Mortimer and Franco arrive back at the society.
Is it helpful, Mortimer, what he wrote? I saw him writing down a bunch of shit.
The paper was blank.
What? I saw him writing like the ink on the paper. Is there some like magic trick or something where like ink disappears?
Could be, or perhaps he just switched the pages. Sleight of hand, something like that.
Mortimer?
What did you discuss with him?
I told him he was going to give me names. I mean, I made him tell me that the Bellefonts were who he was buying and selling for, mostly. And
they're a big trade family of this sort of stuff, especially from that part of the world.
And then there is somebody called Walters who has some book on the cultists that you all keep talking about up in Yorkshire or some shit. Yorkshire, Yorkham, I don't know, some stupid place where a bunch of assholes live. He was going to write down a bunch of more stuff because I threatened to kill him, but then I gave him some money. And, but since those pages are blank and you don't seem confident that it wasn't some magic ink or some parlor trick, keep the information.
As you're talking, Could I ask for a sanity roll from Augustus, please?
Oh dear.
It's sort of retroactive as you're talking and as you're saying this.
Oh dear.
You get, as you're saying this, as you're recounting this, as you're thinking back of what he said, there's something deeply unsettling. You don't know what it is, but something is making you afraid, and that is not right, because you are Augustus Green. You should not feel fear.
Mortimer.
Something is not right. And I'd like you to roll me 1d6, please.
Mortimer.
Yes.
Something's wrong.
We could burn his paper to see.
You're quite lucky. You only lose 1 point of sanity. But this
wrong, Mortimer.
settling feeling, there's something not quite right.
There's something wrong, Mortimer.
Some people can use magic to affect people's minds. I've seen it done. So perhaps he did something along those lines.
Mortimer. Don't feel right.
As this unsettling feeling settles over Augustus's mind, I think that is where we're going to have to leave off for tonight.